The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now at 6 o'clock, covering the entire DMV. Searching for answers. 2 young women killed overnight in DC and a teen girl critically hurt. 1 week after a teenage girl was fatally stabbed.
She's gonna leave a hole in my heart and in the hearts of so many people.
We have to do better by our young people. We have to do better.
Several victims' family members push for a change as crime mounts among young people and police crack down on a teenage curfew. And record-breaking heat? Well, more on that question. The change for sweltering temperatures to start your September. We're moments away from your forecast. And a recently released video has parents up in arms over treatment of a special needs student in Virginia. A look at how they're responding to the school board. And a holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend, is underway. The local events for family fun, ways to save at the pump, and when it's best to head back home. And good evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6. I'm Ben Dennis. We could see some record-breaking heat at the end of our holiday weekend and to start our work week. Our meteorologist Scott Sumner has a closer look at what to expect. Scott, a beautiful day today, but it's going to turn sticky and stifling.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it, Ben, because looking outside how beautiful it has been. Temperatures have been comfortably into the 80s today. Low humidity, and that nice trend is going to continue into the evening, even after the sun sets here. Beautiful look at downtown Annapolis here and the inner harbor region, and a lot of folks out and about in boats and pontoons and all. But yeah, like I said, record heat is a possibility. We'll break it down in the full weather, but I want to give you an idea of some of the hottest September temperatures on record here, whether you're in DC, Sterling, Hagerstown, Martinsburg, or Annapolis. Anywhere from 99 up to 104 degrees over a myriad of years, from the 1993 era all the way back to 1881. So again, we can get some late summer heat here, and it looks like that's what's in store for us. Speaking of heat, the barbecue might be cooking right now, and we've got a clear sky straight through 7 p.m., mostly clear at 8 o'clock, and temperatures will fall out of the 80s and get into the 70s. Yeah, so another pleasant night ahead, heating up Sunday. Any record heat on Monday? We'll talk about that and beyond, and dry until late next week. Ben?
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Scott. She was just 16 years old. Her whole life was in front of her, but tragically, it was cut short. Another victim of youth violence in and around Washington, D.C. It's been nearly a week since Irma died after she was stabbed in Northwest by another 16-year-old girl. The family of the young girl is now talking about the life of their lost loved one. They shared their story with DC News Now's Dave Laval.
Naima Lagon should have been with friends and classmates enjoying her junior year here at Thomas Stone High School. Instead, her family is now preparing her funeral.
Naima was full of life. She was an amazing daughter.
Joy Lagon only has the memories of her 16-year-old daughter.
No parent brings their kid home from the hospital as a baby and expects to have a funeral 16 years later.
Lagon died after she was stabbed, D.C. police say, by another teenage girl during a fight over sweet and sour sauce outside a Northwest McDonald's during the early morning hours of August 27th.
Everybody's hurt, everybody's, upset, because Naima did not deserve to die in the way that she was killed.
I don't think any parent should ever bury their child.
Naima's father, Wiles, is also having difficulty dealing with the loss of a young child.
I have images when I close my eyes, and believe it or not, the images that I do have, I like. In terms of remembering her jovial and laughing and messing with me and messing around in the house.
The Lagon family wants to focus on how Naima lived.
Beautiful, intelligent, funny, clever, witty, like she just lit up the room. And my brother was a barber.
Naima may have followed her uncle's career choice.
She taught herself how to cut, and she cut everybody's hair in the neighborhood.
Joy Lagon told us there are many questions about why her only daughter was in the district that night.
What I can tell you is that Naima's a teenager. There were rules in our house, and Naima's a typical teenager. That's what I'll say.
Lagon says she's overwhelmed by the community's support and the comfort of friends.
The phone just doesn't stop ringing. The phone's ringing nonstop. The texts are coming in nonstop. The door, people are knocking on the door nonstop.
Naima's funeral will take place September 16th in Capitol Heights. In Waldorf, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Well, thanks to Dave for sharing that story. New tonight, returning to the DMV from Florida. Virginia Task Force 1 has announced that their assistance for Idalia has come to an end. The 80 team members helped locals after the storm in Florida. They're expected to be back home in the state by midday tomorrow. Tonight, we're learning more about a triple shooting that left 2 people dead in D.C. Friday night. Police say they responded to calls about a shooting on 7th Street in Northwest just before midnight. When they got there, they found 3 victims, all women, or young women rather, and 1 teenage girl. 2 adult women, 1 teen, found in the parking lot behind the building. They all had gunshot wounds. They all were taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. The 2 women died. The teen is now in critical but stable condition, we're told. We spoke to the father of one of those victims, and this is what he had to say about that crime.
I want justice for my daughter, my kid, and Keisha. That's it. And I want the police officers to do their job. My daughter's birthday is in 2 weeks. She would have been 19 years old. Now I got to make funeral arrangements for my daughter.
DC police are offering a $25,000 reward for any tips leading to an arrest. And this triple shooting happened just minutes before DC's new youth curfew went into effect in other parts of the district. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile spoke to an ANC commissioner whose area is in the curfew about their thoughts on the curfew.
The curfew was going into effect at midnight, and just before midnight was when that shooting happened. And one ANC leader who says her neighborhood is one of the areas that has the curfew, she says the curfew isn't very realistic. I asked ANC leader Reverend Hamilton about the shooting that happened on the heels of the first day of the new DC juvenile curfew.
I think it supports what I'm talking about here is that it's not about a time on the clock. I think it's an attempt to show that we're doing something different than we have been doing. And so I am in agreement with that, but I am not convinced that it's going to achieve the results that they are promoting and looking for.
The shooting happened near the Gibson Plaza apartments in the Shaw neighborhood. 2 women died and a teenage girl in critical condition. This type of violence involving kids is why district leaders put in the curfew. Reverend Hamilton tells me she recognizes things they have to do differently, but crime happens at different times.
I mean, if you look across the city, you'll see things happening in broad daylight, noon, 8 p.m. And so I say that to say that if somebody has it in their mindset or heart, if you will, to commit a crime, they're not looking to see, oh, let me get this done before 10 o'clock.
I asked Reverend Hamilton what can be done to tackle the issue instead of a curfew, and she says one way is finding out what is motivating young people to violence and what is causing them to lash out violently. The juvenile curfew for today will go into effect at midnight and ends at 6 a.m. In the studio, I'm Tosin Fakile for DC News Now. Back to you.
Well, thanks to Tosin. Meanwhile, new data shows more and more children are going into the hospital after ingesting edible hemp products containing cannabis. In fact, 2023 is set to be the worst year on record in Virginia. Capitol Bureau reporter Tyler Englander has more from Richmond.
The numbers compiled by the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association show more than 600 kids went to the emergency room in the first 3 months of this year alone. The data shows that in the first quarter of 2023, from January through March, 629 kids under the age of 18 went to emergency departments in Virginia for cannabis ingestion or intoxication. Dr. Chris Holsteg is the director of the University of Virginia's Blue Ridge Poison Center.
Some of these products actually do look and taste like candy, and that's really can be problematic because they'll eat the entire container.
If you use Q1 statistics over the course of the entire year, the number of kids going to the hospital in 2023 will be 2,516, a 62% increase since 2020.
They can have issues with breathing, their heart rates are very fast, and we've had some that have been admitted overnight to the floor, some that, with monitoring, and others to the intensive care unit.
Earlier this year, lawmakers passed legislation to limit the amount of THC allowed in hemp products In addition, the law says products must be in child-resistant packaging and can't bear any significant likeness toward other popular products. I asked Holsteg if he thought the new law would make a difference.
You know, it's hard to know. I'm hopeful and I'm thankful for the legislation. So I think we're all kind of waiting to see where the trends go. But you know, there's such a plethora of substances that are emerging out there. I still have my concerns. And then there's also the enforcement. And we still have the problem that the public doesn't realize the dangers associated with these products.
It's important to note that this is not just a Virginia problem. According to the CDC, kids going to the emergency room for ingesting cannabis is up nationwide since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. In Richmond, I'm Tyler Englander.
And honey, I didn't know that I'd be missing you so come Monday.
I remember so many of his songs. The man behind Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett, has died at the age of 76. Buffett was famous for his laid-back, beach-like attitude and tunes, but it was more than that, running multiple business ventures, even being a successful author. Right now, his cause of death has not yet been revealed. According to Buffett, his legacy is, quote, helping people forget their troubles for a couple of hours.